Explain the message behind this is Baldinger. Thanks so much for joining us, Tami. We really appreciate it. And I want to play some of this if we can to start things off. But tell us about some of the projects that you have been doing in the community.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Jewish Women's Foundation of the Greater Palm Beaches is really excited to show this documentary. It's part of our ongoing community education. We are a grant-making and advocacy organization that works to improve the lives of women and girls in our local community, around the country, and globally as well. So this is our first in the series of educational programming, and we chose this because working with one of our grantee partners, Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies, we identified a huge gap in the community in terms of services for women and girls. That's part of our work. Through our grant making and our advocacy and education, we work to identify areas where girls and women are underserved and where there are gaps, and try to identify the root causes of these problems. There are 1.3 million mothers in this country that are suffering from pre- and postpartum depression, mental health issues.
And this is something you're seeing right here in our area.
Yes, we identified it in our community as a major issue. We've been working with our grantee partner. We actually just, as part of our overall grants process, gave them a 2-year grant as seed money to start a countywide initiative.
Why do you think there's such, why do you think that we're falling through the cracks when it's addressing these problems, which are such a big problem nationwide and in our area?
That's a great question, and there are a lot of reasons for it. I think there are a lot of issues that are affecting women and girls that people just aren't aware of in general. This has to do with mental health, so there's an additional stigma there, and people are afraid to talk about it. They think they're alone. As a matter of fact, the producers, both of them, of this film suffered from maternal mental health issues, and they say 1 in 7 women suffer from issues during pregnancy, and most of the time it's undiagnosed, and it's almost always preventable.
And people are just scared to speak up. They don't know how to identify it, and they don't want to speak up, and that's
part of the problem. But what we identified, and what people will learn when they see this film, is that there was a gap in the medical community.
Wow.
Medical and mental health providers were not able to screen and treat these totally preventable issues facing our mothers.
Thank you so much for doing so much for our community. The Dark Side of the Full Moon, it premieres Thursday, October 27th. After the screening, there is a reception that includes wine and cheese. That's from 5:30 until 7:30 at the Temple Judah in Palm Beach. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. We'll be right back.